How is it going, everyone? We got a lot to talk about in this video. It looks like Insomniac has some leaks coming over from them as far as future Spider-Man titles. An unfortunate end that I think a lot of people saw coming. E3 is no more. I think a lot of us have been expecting this over the last couple of years, but now we know for a fact that E3 will no longer be a thing going forward, so we'll talk about that. And a bit of an update on the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake and whether or not it's actually happening. We'll talk that at the end of this video. Unfortunate, but leaked documents from an Insomniac Games ransomware attack could suggest that the developers are working on a new Spider-Verse game. The ransomware attack was confirmed by Sony, which confirmed that sensitive employee information was compromised as noted by Insider Gaming. So as a part of these leaks, there were new images of Marvel's Wolverine that leaked online, but more interesting, it looks like there's a couple of unknown and yet to be announced projects that have been revealed. One of them is titled RCE, one of them is of course Spider-Man 3, I mean, doesn't take rocket science to figure out that's in development, and the other one is Spider-Verse. Spider-Verse could potentially be a multiplayer project being developed by Insomniac. Now, when it comes to these multiplayer projects that Sony first-party studios have in development, I take them with very much a grain of salt. They can have the ideas in place to create a multiplayer title, but as we've seen with Last of Us, I wouldn't expect all of these games to ultimately come out. Obviously, Sony wants to parlay their successful IPs into titles that they can monetize for a longer term, much like they tried to do with the Last of Us multiplayer project, but you guys know how that turned out. And whether or not it is a multiplayer title, that remains to be seen, but that is a potential possibility. I could definitely see Sony wanting to take an IP that's been gargantuanly successful like Spider-Man and bring it into a live service model and try to monetize it for a longer period of time and then, you know, have their single-player story-based games as well. I think that makes a lot of sense. As far as what is RCE, I see R and I think Resistance, baby. So if that's like Resistance Collection, Experience, I don't know what the E would be, but if that's something Resistance related, sign me up, baby, because Resistance is a franchise we need to see make a comeback. It's been a long time, but that's totally speculation on my part. I mean, it just says RCE. Who the hell knows what that is? I just see the R, and I think Resistance, baby. Can we get a Resistance 4? Drop the hell yes in the comments section down below, but we'll see how all of that turns out. Remember that the release time between Spider-Man 2018 and Spider-Man 2 was 5 years. I would expect at least 4 years between Spider-Man 2 and Spider-Man 3, so don't expect Spider-Man 3 anytime in the near future. Insomniac is very good at rolling out their games fairly quickly. Remember, Spider-Man 2018, Miles Morales in 2020, Ratchet Rift Apart in 2021, Spider-Man 2 in 2023. Wolverine is probably next, and I would say earliest for that would be 2025, and then maybe Spider-Man 2, or excuse me, Spider-Man 3 would be in 2027 at the earliest. So that's kind of the timetable I'm looking at Spider-Man 3. 2027 at the earliest, so yeah, we just got Spider-Man 2, guys. Don't get too excited for Spider-Man 3, but who knows when that Spider-Verse title could come out as well. And then there is also the potential of Spider-Man 2 DLC, and the idea is out there for a potential 2.5 style game, much like they did with Miles Morales. You could do a Bridge the Gap sort of game for Spider-Man 2 into 3 as well. But a lot of that is speculation on my part. Moving on from that, I mean, this isn't surprising news, but it is still a little bit disappointing, especially someone that grew up with E3 after more than 2 decades of E3, each one bigger than the last. The time has come to say goodbye. Thanks for the memories. This is somewhat a formality, and I think a lot of people saw this coming, especially after the world shut down. E3 kind of went to the wayside. Summer Game Fest really popped off, and that seems to be the way people want to move forward in terms of big premieres when it comes to video game reveals, and all of the different publishers and studios do their own kind of reveal events and reveal stuff when it's necessary. But you've got VGAs, you've got Summer Game Fest, you've got all these events throughout the year. Sony does their State of Plays, their PlayStation showcases, Nintendo does Nintendo Direct, Xbox has their showcases as well. A lot of it married into Summer Game Fest as well. Like, E3 just didn't have a place anymore, but it is still a bummer because I know a lot of you guys are like me, where if you're around my age, you know, your late 20s into your mid 30s, you grew up with E3 and you have a lot of fond memories with E3. In the sense that, guys, there are so many iconic moments, and there are some downright terrible moments, don't get me wrong, but I still remember E3 2015 when the crowd erupted at the reveal of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer. You know, at that time, people had wanted that game for so long, and just to see that get revealed in conjunction with a bunch of other great reveals. E3 of 2015, that Sony conference, in my memory, I just remember that conference being absolutely fantastic. Then you have, you know, train wrecks like the Nintendo E3 Direct, the Nintendo E3 in 2008, that was god-awful. Some of the Ubisoft Just Dance, oh my goodness, like, there were some bad E3s. I remember the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer with a lot of fond memories. I remember some of the great gameplay showcases. You guys remember Uncharted 2? My goodness, E3 2009 when they showcased that gameplay demo for Uncharted 2. At the time, that was jaw-dropping, seeing Nate hang on from the ledge as the helicopter is there. That was some great stuff, and really, some of my fondest memory, like, growing up as a big video game fan, E3 was such a great time, especially it usually happened in June, and you're talking about me in high school at that point. You're getting off on summer break, and you're kicking off summer break with, like, this big wave of reveals for video games. It's just, I have a lot of fond memories attached to E3, but you know, when you look at it objectively, it is something that is a little bit of an archaic format, and I guess people just don't want to go to these press events in the sense of everybody come together. I get it that doing something like a Summer Game Fest is just way more optimal, especially in this day and age, but again, so many fond memories attached to E3, and it's still a little bit sad to see it go, but I think a lot of us were expecting this for quite a while. Lastly, I do want to note, Disney has in fact commented on the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, you know, after there have been a lot of reports on whether or not the project is actually going to happen, and here is what was said by Disney's head of gaming, Sean Shoptaw. Not a lot I can say on the point for some hopefully obvious reasons, but KOTOR is obviously an incredibly popular game, one that we are incredibly proud of, and think there's still a lot of demand for. How I dissect that is that this game is still being looked at as a potential title that could come out, but right now it is very much up in the air. And why speak about a game that's up in the air, or at the very best is still a long ways out? That's why initially when people got so excited for this trailer, I was just thinking, man, guys, we're not gonna get this game until 2026 at the earliest, and now you look at it in 2023, guys, we're not gonna get this game until like 2028 at the earliest. You know, that's why it's so hard to get excited for some of these games that get revealed so early. Like BioWare doing that Mass Effect teaser trailer, come on now, that game's not coming out until like 2029, and they know damn well that's the case, and they still want to get people excited. For what reason? Why do these teaser trailers? I get it that you can drum up some interest on N7 Day or whatever they want to do, but you know, it's better to keep some cards close to the vest, especially in a case like Mass Effect. Like, you guys got Dragon Age Dreadwolf. That game has had a tumultuous development cycle. How about we focus on that, and then we can talk about Mass Effect, you know? But as far as KOTOR goes, this remake, I think, is a ways out, and it was announced back in September of 21, and now, you know, by the time it comes out, if it does, you're looking at 27, 28, and we'll be talking about, man, a 7-year turnaround time for this game. Maybe it'll come out in 25 or 26, but I find that to be highly unlikely at this stage of the game. Hopefully it just one day does come to fruition, but that is going to do it for me. Again, Insomniac has a bunch of leaks happen, unfortunate with the ransomware attack, but RCE, Spider-Man 3, Spider-Verse will be interesting to see how that pans out. E3 is unfortunately no more. You know, it's something we all saw coming, but still a little bit of a bummer. And Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, the remake could potentially happen. I just don't foresee it coming out anytime in the near future. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.